Lytton was an artist and musician, leading a rarefied existence in the great house he'd inherited through his marriage, Crabbet Park. Life at Crabbet Park was a whirlwind of house parties, literary evenings, and weekends devoted to hunting and sports. But the aristocratic idyll that Neville and Judith had created at Crabbet Park was about to be shattered by the outbreak of hostilities in 1914. Neville immediately responded to the centuries-old calling of the aristocracy at time of war, and set about raising a battalion of men from his estate in the surrounding Sussex countryside. But any illusions he may have had about the war would quickly be dispelled in the bloody trenches of northern France. In just one battle, 19 men of the battalion he'd helped recruit were killed. Some of them were men from our own farms in Sussex whom I'd known for years, he lamented in his diary. It forced him to reappraise a system of traditional values he had always taken for granted. The troops felt no desire to kill anyone but their well-dressed, proper generals, he wrote. But at Crabbet Park, Judith was carrying on her lifestyle as if nothing had changed. She'd already built a private sports complex that boasted a swimming pool and a real tennis court. And she'd invested thousands in the finest Arabian stallions for her stud farm. But estate incomes were falling. The money was running out.
She was writing this in the middle of war. This is written
1917.
in 1917. Of course, things here will be very different to what they used to be in the days of open house, an open tennis court, and unlimited rackets, drinks and meals for everyone. So no doubt my reputation for immense riches will die a natural death. It will be all I can do to pay my own and estate expenses, the children I can't support, nor alas can I pay your bills, willingly as I would do so. However, as I said before, it will be time enough to talk about it when the war's over. I mean, he's out there on active service.
He's out there on active service, and clearly the last thing he needs is a comment of that sort, that he's somehow not pulling his weight.
And it shows you how far the home front diverged from the experience of the soldiers.
And how little she understands what has happened to him, and indeed to everybody else who was on active service, serving king and country.
In 1918, Neville Lytton returned to England, devastated by the experience of war. But the family was on the brink of financial ruin. Part of the Crabbet estate had already been sold to pay off the mounting debts. And the gulf that had opened up between Judith and Neville during the war could not be closed.
Judith got herself all over the press by taking an action against Neville for the reinstatement of conjugal rights.
Gosh, that is washing your dirty laundry in public, isn't it?
That's and of course, not only might it not have reflected particularly well on him, but probably didn't reflect particularly well on her. But as a matter of record, that is where things had got to.
Unsurprisingly, Judith's attempt to force Neville back into her bed by legal means didn't work. In 1923, the couple were bitterly divorced. With no money left, Neville had to earn a living through his previous hobby. He embarked on a career as a professional artist. Judith remained alone at Crabbet Park until her death in the 1950s. Today it lies empty, owned by an IT company, its future uncertain. Neville Lytton was lucky. Unlike huge numbers of his fellow upper-class officers, he survived the war. But the old aristocracy would never recover from the loss of so many of its sons.